Hey guys, welcome back to another Flesh and Blood video. This video is proudly brought to you by the House of Cards, the official sponsor of my stream. Be sure to check out the link in the description below for all of your Flesh and Blood needs. Victor versus Maxx is a very intricate matchup with a lot of back and forth, because Maxx is trying to assemble their combo as early as possible and like flip into Mechanoid and then have the high octane to throw like 40 plus points at you. Victor is trying to string together enough disruption to like put Maxx on the back foot just long enough to where they're forced to start blocking with cards, and then they can no longer have their crazy pop-off turn, and Victor's able to close the game out. From the Victor point of view, there are two ways to think about this matchup in terms of sideboarding. You can just decide to play all gas and no breaks with no sync belows, cut tests of strengths, and just play like Pummels, Rouses, Zealous, everything, and just try to play all in, aggressive, and try to run them over. I don't really know that that's correct. So during the game here, I ended up playing a more defensive style where I was on sinks, Trounce, test of strengths, and my thought was, let's just try to hang on. Let's try to play the value game here and hang on as long as we can and see if we can close the game out. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you enjoy the match. We're playing against Maxx, and I am going second. My opponent chose to go first. They boost a card at us, which is not super surprising. We're going to go ahead and try and win this clash. Drawing into a go again card is really sweet. Now with this particular hand, they're probably just going to like, oh no, they're gonna boost. Okay. So they're gonna ask for some equipment here. I'm just gonna give the Aurum Aegis, like, since we have to give a piece of equipment here, I'm gonna give the Aurum Aegis. Okay, so they're gonna load the pistol, I assume, and then activate Maxx with no crank and arsenal card, is their plan here. Yep, that makes sense. And they have 3, 4, 5 pieces of equipment. They have 5 equipment block, and they have the base legs. I think the best play we can make here is just to throw the Thunderquake. If we throw the Thunderquake, then we have the ability to arsenal the Enlightened Strike. And I mean, I think that this sets us up for a pretty good hand to be able to block next turn, and then be able to throw the E-Strike plus something else at our opponent, depending on what we draw. Like if we draw into a CNC, like we have pretty good options here for what we're actually going to throw at our opponent next turn. Gives us some variety options there. I mean, if their hand's good enough, they might just take 10. They do just take 10. There's no on hit effect there, so like it makes sense that people would take 10. Like I understand why they want to take 10. So 5 go again. Let's see. I think, man, they have 3 resources. Like we're probably just gonna have to take 2 here if I had to guess, right? Like the best play is probably just to block 3 and take 2, go to 38. We do have to let them chip away a little bit at us here, unfortunately. Like it's kind of what has to happen. So that when they go to like, it's gonna make it better for them. The more they chip away at us, it makes their high octane turn after they flipped into Mechanoid turn better for them. I don't know what our opponent's doing here. Not sure what's going on there. If they're thinking like, I mean, they technically can pummel this, so could be an option. I would like to try and find a sink below as fast as possible, so that we could play a sink below, or like we need a Trounce to line up on like one of their big turns. Using Crown of Providence to find us an extra card on that turn will be very good. I have a lot of the defensive pieces in this deck. I mean, yeah, like these like breakpoint cards, I think we just have to let some damage leak through. I don't really think there's much else we can do about it here. I assume it's going to be no. Okay. Boosting quite a bit here. Playing a lot of offense here. They'll take the Command and Conquer, I imagine, will be their play. And when they do, we'll let that block and then take 1. And then if they leave us with a card, we'll go E-Strike for 7. No, they're going to take the Disable here. Interesting. I mean, I guess like take my only blue is their logic here. I mean, if they don't shoot the pistol and they just pass, like, okay, so they're not going to shoot the pistol. They are going to just activate Maxx with no crank and pass. Now, thankfully for us, the E-Strike is going to line up pretty well here. We're just going to be able to throw this for 7, which is really nice. Like just being able to attack for 7. We're not getting punished for not having a blue there. So arsenaling the E-Strike actually bailed us out of having a really rough turn right there. So that's looking pretty good. That's looking pretty good right there. So let's see. They just take 7 and continue to try to play offense here. Test of Strength's going to line up pretty well for us here. I think that's going to be a pretty good one. I mean, yeah, we'll just give the shield. Like, no reason not to. It's just going to be for 1, so we'll just give the shield and use the efficiency here. I hate that we're not being able to, like, save some of our equipment for their, like, Mechanoid turns when they actually end up flipping here. Because, I mean, that's going to be their play, is to flip. They're just trying to whittle us down into the 20s so that when they do go for their massive turn, we're already too low, and then we're in a really bad spot. Curious to see what they have next. I mean, they have 2 resources floating and 3 cards in hand. They have access to 4 cards total this turn, so hopefully the Test of Strength gives us a pretty good spot to be able to try and throw some damage back at our opponent. Our opponent said that they're thinking here. Let them know that that's no problem here. Appreciate them letting us know that they're thinking. Completely understand, though. While our opponent's thinking here, there's 2 ways that you can really go about playing this matchup, and one of those ways is like all offense, or one of the ways is like a lot of defense. And like I don't really know like which one is correct, if I'm just being entirely honest here. Like I have made the decision to play like Tests of Strength, Trounces, and like the Sink Belows in trying to be able to like play a defensive game plan, to be able to like keep enough life up so that they cannot kill us with the Mechanoid. Now, there's no guarantee there that that's going to win the game, but I think that might be a better play than actually trying to play like super offense. Do I need to like refresh here? So this is 6 go again. I think the best thing I can do is just give the Test of Strength here. I'm saving my equipment for their first big turn. I do have to use the Civic Steps wisely. So on their bigger turn, I will have to use the Civic Steps in a like cautious fashion, so that I don't just get like completely blown out by anything that they're trying to do on that turn. Because the Civic Steps on the Mechanoid turn is like just a blowout. They don't even have to have resources. They opt X, where X is the number of times you've boosted on the combat chain. So this is for 5 go again. So right here, I'm actually going to block with, let's see how they opt. I'm actually going to block Chokeslam, Buckling Blow, and then I'm going to swing the hammer for 4 and Arsenal to Debilitate. Because I assume they're going to make another Hyperdriver here. Whether that's with the heart or without the heart, I'm not sure. So they go bottom. They put all 3 cards on bottom, and we're going to block 6. Just trying to keep our life total up here as healthy as possible. Having a Surge would be ideal on this turn, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. No, they're just going to pitch Shockwave here to activate Maxx. And then they do crank to throw the pistol at me. Interesting. So they're going to throw the pistol at me both times here. Yeah. They're just going to try and throw the pistol at me twice. So I'm just going to block 3. And then they're going to go to shoot the pistol at me one more time. And I'm just going to give them that card as well. Life is relevant here, not cards. Like, it's pretty much impossible for Maxx to fatigue us. Even like if they do flip, it's just not very doable for them to actually fatigue us. So us playing into the idea of just blocking as much damage as possible every turn is the way to go. I mean, they've already had 18 cards come out of their deck and we've had 12. So I like the idea of just being able to play, just play efficiently. We're going to block 4 because I think this is a good time to block 4. Now, the Trounce... I'm going to ask if they meant to pass there. Oh. Never mind. They didn't boost. I'm seeing what happened here. The fact that they didn't boost played out that way. So they ended up doing that. They're probably... Okay, so they have the Mechanoid here, I think, is what they're doing. I'm not even going to bother typing that out. It's probably not worth it. So I think what we can do is pitch Asunder, swing the hammer, and then pass. Like, they'll just give us their 4 pieces of equipment here. Okay, so they're actually not going to flip here. I guess they're just playing the waiting game now, is their goal here. I'm not really sure what. I'm intrigued. I assume they would just give us the pieces of equipment they had there, and then they would want to just pass. Or I'm sorry, like, and then they would want to give us their equipment, and then they would throw, and then they would flip, but I guess not. So we're gonna block 6, hopefully winning the Trounce. So we win the first one. I do like the sink below, but I think we're gonna put ours on the bottom in hopes that we find a better card here. So Surge, Might, and Vigor here, which means we can make a. So this is gonna cost 4. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a new one, and then I'm gonna throw the Spinal Crush here for 10. So this will probably strip a lot of my opponent's equipment right here. Like, this is a give me a lot of equipment kind of card. Like, they can't let this hit, so they need to be blocking it efficiently here. So they'll probably give me some equipment and like a card or 2 if I had to guess. Because like, now that they have the 3 hyperdrivers in play, they're actually just like trying to wait out until they get to the mechanoid here. I don't think they have it. Like, I think they would have already have flipped if they had it there. I don't know. That's a good hand right there. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Man. So they can only block 7. So if I go to 30 to throw We Have Crippling Crush at home, like, that's a really good play. It's 11 Dominate here, which is insane. I'm not a huge fan of taking the pistol down to 30 because that 2 points of life could actually be super relevant here. But this hand is insane. Like, this hand is like actually crazy good. And we get to just like throw 11 Dominate at our opponent, which is insanely good. There's so much value in this play here. There is so much value in this play here in the fact that we can just like, I mean, they may take some damage here. I don't know. That or like, I mean, I guess, God forbid, they have like a sink below in their arsenal, but I would be baffled if they had a sink below. The fact that this gets 2 cards in their hand really feels good for me. Like, this is a real good swing in the direction for us. Asunder to discard 2 cards. Discard a Recharge and a T-Bone. Yep. You love to see it. They're just going to pass. We're going to make a Surge or I'm sorry, we're not going to do that. We're going to throw, no, stop it, Zach. We're going to throw the Debilitate here. And I mean, this is also a really good, this is also like a really good card because it gives the first thing they do -2. I mean, that's fine. They're still like, this is still crushing. So like, this is okay with me. All right. And they flip the mechanoid. Here we go. Now, they only have 5 pieces under there, or I'm sorry, they have the 8 pieces because of all the things they have, and they choose not to attack me. I mean, we have a pretty good hand here. I kind of just want to be keeping the sink below in my hand, though, honestly. Like, I think we just want to be keeping the sink below. There was a world where I could have pitched the Spinal Crush to make a Surge and thrown this for 10 overpower, but I don't think that's where I want to be at. I don't think that's the correct play right here. Like, I think we're just more interested in attacking them with our cards and trying to force them to let some damage leak through. I mean, Crush the Weak is a good one, but like, again, like, it's not really like it's going to do a lot. Crush the Weak isn't really going to like be a blowout card here just because they have 5 block on demand whenever they want. They're just going to play a Hyperdriver to make their next turn even better. This card has a lot of upside value for us on like a big power turn here. So I'm pretty invested in keeping this card in my hand. So let's pitch this to the sink below. Or let's pitch the sink below to make a surge, and then let's throw Crush the Week here. It's probably like there wasn't really like I would have had to have pitched the sink, the Crush the Week, and the Debilitate to throw the Thunderquake, which is technically more points, but I don't know if that's like where I want to be at right here. I think we're just okay. I'm just gonna block 4 with the sink below here. I think that's fine. I don't really want to sink anything. Like, I like my hand. It's pretty good here, just the way it's set up now. Activate Maxx, and they do crank. So, I mean, this is awesome. Like, we just get to like block this out here because of the Trounce, and then we get to throw the Thunderquake for 9 here. And what, they have a Firewall on top of their deck, which means they're going to be able to, like, they can just block the 9 with the Firewall and the Mechanoid if they want, but... Or I guess, I'm sorry, this is going to be for 10. We have 2 Mites. Was one of those one with a Thunk? One of those was one with a Thunk. What a W. And we also put a High Octane on the bottom, which is, like, real big value for us. I could just make a Surge and leave this here for the Arsenal. Like, I do like the idea of being able to leave this there for whenever they pop off to have the Crown into another card. Let's just throw the Buckling Blow for 8. I like Buckling Blow over the Debilitate here because the -2 is relevant, but Buckling Blow puts a -1 counter on this thing, and that's a good win for us. All right, or they just have double Firewall, lol. All right, so they're setting up for a pretty good High Octane turn when it comes around to it. And we pass. I mean, I think we're just going to have to let our opponent opt one here. I'm not a big fan of leaking 1, but I would rather block efficiently at this point than I would overblock. We're not at the overblocking stage of this game yet. Let's give the Chokeslam. Activate Maxx. Crank and throw the Mechanoid. So we'll just block with Chokeslam and take 3. That's fine. We're at 26. I mean, they only have 6 hits left on this. So, like, they are chipping in damage at us, but this also only has 6 hits left on it, which is relevant. And we still have, like, a sink below we haven't seen. Let's see. Have we seen... We put a Trounce on the bottom earlier, I think, maybe. Have we seen all of our test of strengths? Or maybe we didn't put it on the bottom earlier. I'm going to be honest, I really can't remember. A lot of this matchup is just trying to hang on in any way that you can. So we'll block 3 and take 1 here. They didn't boost and I wasn't paying attention. Definitely should have went the route of just trying to... Definitely should have went the route of just trying to, of just blocking with 2 cards, because then I could have thrown the Command and Conquer here. Still think that's a better play. Okay, so we made a Surge, and then I think we're just going to go ahead and throw the Command and Conquer here. Like, this looks like potential Pummel, but... Like, I mean, they could think this is Pummel. I'm honestly not sure. I don't know that they'll play around it. I mean... This in 2 cards plays around Pummel, so like the idea of them being able to hang on to their big turn may be worth it here. I'm not sure. Ooh, so they're just going to try and keep as many cards as possible here. Okay. I mean, that's fair. All right. If this is your big turn, this Trounce is going to be so good. It's going to be so much value from this. Let's block here. And see what we win with. It's a Crush the Week. Okay. So let's see. We have access to... This is for 8. I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So technically I can just throw this, right? We can just throw this for 11. And I mean, this is a lot of their life. Like, they're probably going to give us... Ooh, they're just going to give us 3 cards? They're really hanging on for that big high octane turn. Like, I think they might just be giving us too much time here, if I'm being honest. Oh, no. That is not the hand you want to see. I'll tell you that right now. So if we draw... So I think we're drawing a card here, right? If we draw blue, we can throw the Debilitate. I was like, but if we draw red, then we're in the same spot we were in of just throwing the hammer for 4. So drawing a card with as much gold as we had there is by far a better play, because it gives us a really, we get a lot better shot to actually be able to throw something with relevance here. They're giving up so many cards from their hand. Like, why are they not giving us the equipment there? I don't really understand, if I'm being honest. I mean, Command and Conquer seems like another really good card here to just go ahead and force cards out of my opponent's hand. Like, if they're keeping their arsenal for a reason, they have to give us the Mechanoid and a card here. Now they're just going to give us 2 cards. I don't think they're in a place where they can, like... I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't really know how they're going to kill us from here. So let's go... Let's go again, and then I'm going to throw the hammer. So they're going to take 1 and go to 4, and then the good part about this is that they've waited so long, this forces a card out of their hand, so they're forced to give me 1 card here, and I just don't think they're going to have enough to kill us here. I think it took them too long to set it up. The Trounce, when we put the high octane on the bottom, might have actually just been backbreaking. So they go to 3 and we pass, and we have the sink below here. All right, they're going to try it. I mean, they realize that this has to be it here. So they were trying to set up the double high octane, which is really cool. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, that's awesome, but... They were playing a 1 of Pummel. That's pretty spicy. So let's go ahead and sink below the Command and Conquer away. We know every card in our deck is a 3-block or more. So I'm just looking to get the value there. I think this is okay. I think we can just block 3 here. Like, we're literally just trying not to die at this point in time. And then they have 6 action points, so this is going to be for a ton. So we're going to block 5. We're going to put this away and get another card, take 1. I'm going to block 5. Take 1, go to 22. We're going to block 2, take 4, go to 18. And then the extra throw won't matter here because we'll be able to use the civic steps. So they only have 1 more throw at us, right? So giving them the civic steps here is good because we take 4 and go to 8, and then they only have 1 more anyway. And it's only for 5, which means we go to 3 and live. And now they have 3 cards in their deck and they can't use the Mechanoid anymore, which means I'm pretty sure we just won this game. I'm just going to go ahead and give the sink below here. And I don't think there's a reason to sink anything. We're just going to make a surge and throw 10 overpower. Now, this doesn't end the game here because they can give us a card. Well, actually, this does end the game, doesn't it? Wow, so we were just able to hang on there and close that game out. The first thing I want to talk about that really swung the game in my direction was the fact that Maxx wasn't able to flip into Nitro Mechanoid until like turn 8. That was a lot of turns for me to establish some pressure and really play a lot of offense and get a lot of cards out of Maxx's deck. My Maxx opponent, even after they flipped into Mechanoid, spent a lot of time playing defensive and not really attacking me. And I understand why they weren't attacking with the Mechanoid. They needed to save all of those hits for the high octane turn. But I think their high octane turn came just a little too late. I think they tried to double high octane me and it was just too little too late. They were too low a life, and I was forcing cards out of their hand, which really just put me in the driver's seat. As an overall view of the matchup, I do think that Maxx is favored. Maxx having Nitro Mechanoid to flip into is just crazy because they can spend the early game blocking with their equipment and a card or two, making some hyperdrivers, and then still just flip on turn 5 or 6 when they get there. And if they're able to assemble double high octane or a high octane and a twin drive, they can throw 40 plus points at you like it's no problem. And at that point, you're just trying to hang on. Guys, if you see something you think I missed, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about it. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys.